Emma Rodriguez looked at her phone again. It was 7:45. She had to get to the Morrison and Associates building in 15 minutes. Emma Rodriguez wanted to make a first impression. Her alarm did not go off this morning. Her coffee maker was not working either. Now Emma Rodriguez was running down Riverside Avenue in her heels. These heels were not made for running. Emma Rodriguez was really hoping she could make it on time. She had to cross downtown and get to the Morrison and Associates building fast as she could. Emma Rodriguez did not want to be late for her meeting. The Riverside Bakery sign was like a welcome. Emma was really hungry because she did not eat breakfast. She knew that going to her day of work with an empty stomach would not be good. Emma walked into the bakery, was hit with the nice smell of fresh bread and melted butter. The smell of Riverside Bakery was very nice. Emma loved the smell of bread from Riverside Bakery. The bakery was really busy with all the people rushing in the morning. People going to work would pick up their stuff and run out. Visitors would look at all the pastries, take their time, and the people working there knew exactly what they were doing. Emma's eyes looked over the case with all the food in it. She really needed a cup of coffee and maybe something simple to eat like a pastry or a sandwich. The coffee was what she was thinking about the most. A cup of coffee from the bakery. Then she saw it. There was this one good croissant all by itself in the pastry case. It was golden and flaky. The display lights made it look amazing. Emma walked towards the counter at the time. A tall man in a very nice charcoal suit came forward from the other side. He was wearing an expensive-looking suit. Emma and the man in the charcoal suit reached the counter at the time. The croissant was still sitting there, looking perfect. The people's hands went for the serving tongs at the time. Their hands were trying to grab the serving tongs. The serving tongs were what they wanted to use. Emma looked up, saw a pair of gray eyes staring back at her. These eyes were really sharp. They seemed to be checking her out all at once. The man was good-looking, in a way that seemed too good to be true. He had hair that was styled just right, a strong jawline, and a look on his face that said he was a little annoyed. This look made Emma think that he was not used to people getting in his way. The man looked like the kind of person who always got what he wanted. Emma saw the way he looked at her. She thought that this man was probably trouble. Emma said, "I was here first." She tried to sound calm, even though her heart was beating fast. "I think you were wrong," the man said. His voice was clear. Sounded like a businessman. "I have been standing in line for the 5 minutes waiting for my turn the line. For the coffee shop, the line I am talking about is the coffee shop line. When you are standing in line, it is not really paying attention to what you're ordering if you are staring at your phone the whole time. You need to look at the menu and think about what you want to order. Standing in line and staring at your phone does not count as paying attention to your food order. You should put down your phone. Pay attention to the menu and the people around you like the person taking your order." His eyebrow went up a bit. "I knew what the thing I wanted was." "Then you should have ordered it before I got here." Emma reached for the tongs again. He grabbed them first. The man said he has a meeting in 20 minutes. Like that says it all. He seems to think this meeting is really important. This meeting is in 20 minutes, so it is soon. Emma laughed out loud. "Oh well, in that case, let me just go hungry. I am only starting my day at a new job, but clearly your meeting is more important than my whole career at this new job. My first day at this job is supposed to be a big deal for me, but I guess your meeting is a really big deal, even bigger than my first day at this new job." There was a change in the way he looked. It was surprise. Maybe he was just amused. "Is this your day?" "I am going to be late. That is because I am standing here talking to someone who seems to think the universe is all about his schedule. The universe and his schedule are really what this person is focused on. I do not know why I am wasting my time talking to this person about the universe and his schedule. The universe and his schedule are not my problem. I need to go. I am going to be late because of this conversation about the universe and his schedule." I did not say that. Those words did not come out of my mouth. I am telling you, I never said that. Emma crossed her arms. "Said you made it sound that way." Emma looked at the person and said, "We are both grown-ups and we are both in a rush. Why do not we divide the thing we are talking about, and that is it. We just split the thing." The man looked at the croissant. Then he looked at Emma, Then he looked back at the croissant. For a moment, Emma thought that the man might actually say yes. Then the man's phone made a noise. He looked at the phone. The man's face became very serious. He said to me that he will pay me double for the thing, and that is what he offered. It's not about the money. Everything is about money. Emma said that is a sad way to look at the world. The bakery was really quiet. Other people who were buying things looked at what was happening with smiles on their faces. The woman behind the counter at the bakery looked like she did not know if she should do something or just sit back and watch the bakery situation. The man said, "Fine." Then he stopped talking all of a sudden. "Take the thing," he said. "I will be okay without the thing." Emma blinked, really surprised by the surrender. The man gave up quickly. Before Emma could say anything, he said something else. He said, though, "I hope your new employer values being on time more than you seem to." Emma thought about what the man said about her employer and being on time. The comment really hurt, probably because it was a bit true. Emma felt her face get very red. "And I hope the people you work with think it is important to treat others with kindness more than you seem to think it is important." Emma said this about her colleagues and the people she works with the colleagues. At her job, she walked up to the counter, ordered a croissant and a big coffee. She paid fast. When she looked back, the man was not there anymore. He had disappeared into the crowd of people outside in the morning. Emma thought to herself that she was feeling happy it was over, not feeling sad that the man was gone. The man was really gone. Emma was relieved that the man was gone from her sight. The elevator went up to the 42nd floor of the Morrison and Associates building. This did not help Emma feel better. She had done a job in school and people said good things about her. Emma had tried out for the job with a lot of other people, but she was the one who got it. This was Emma's chance to show what she could do, to learn from the lawyers in the city, and to start building her own career as a lawyer at Morrison and Associates. The paralegal position at Morrison and Associates was an opportunity. For Emma, the reception area was really fancy with a lot of glass and chrome. It looked very modern and scary. Emma walked up to the desk, told them who she was. Then they told her to go to a conference room where everything would get started. Emma got there before everyone, so she had a little time to calm down and fix her hair. She was a bit nervous about the orientation for the job at this big company, so it was good that she had a minute to collect her thoughts before the other people arrived at the conference room. For the orientation, other new people came in over the few minutes. We had to introduce ourselves and make talk. You know, the usual things people say when they are nervous on their day of work. They try to be friendly and nice. Then the door. Emma's stomach dropped. The man from the bakery walked into the room. He was the man from the bakery. I knew who he was. The man from the bakery had a smile on his face. This guy was definitely not some employee. The employees around him stood up a little straighter when he walked into the room. He had a leather portfolio in his hand. He walked like he owned the place. The way he moved showed that the company was his space, and the other employees could tell that he was. Someone who knew what he was doing, a person who was in charge of the company's space. Emma saw him across the room. Their eyes met. She noticed that he realized who she was, and then she saw something change in his face. It might have been that he was amused by Emma, or maybe he was annoyed with Emma. Emma could not really tell what he was feeling about. Emma. "Morning," James Blackwell said to the room. James Blackwell's voice was the same. It sounded very sharp and in charge, just like it did at the bakery. "I'm James Blackwell," James Blackwell said. "I am a partner here." James Blackwell welcomed everyone to Morrison and Associates. Emma felt the blood drain from her face. She was a partner now. Emma had just had a fight with a senior partner in front of everyone about a croissant. Emma called the partner's way of thinking really sad. She also said some bad things about the senior partner's sense of what is right and wrong. Emma thought that her career, the company, was finished before it even had a chance to start. James looked at her for a bit longer than he looked at the others. Then he kept talking about what the company's all about. He said things like the company wants to be the best, and people who work hard can do well. Emma did not really listen to what James was saying. She was thinking about what she could do to fix things. She thought about what she could say to make James feel better. She wanted to tell him that she is not usually like this. She wanted James to know that she is not always confrontational with people like she was with him. James and the company were still on her mind as she thought about what to do. After the orientation, the students were each assigned to specific attorneys they would be working with. Emma held her breath as the names were called out. The students were paired with partners and associates at the law firm. Please do not assign me to Blackwell, she thought to herself desperately. I do not want to work with Blackwell. I will take anyone but Blackwell. Emma Rodriguez, James said from his list, and her heart just stopped. She was going to be working with James on the Hartman murder case. Of course she would. The other new people went to meet the lawyers they were supposed to work with. Emma walked up to James, slowly trying to look like she knew what she was doing, even though she was really nervous and did not feel confident at all. Mr. Blackwell, she said, I want to say sorry about what happened at the bakery this morning. I feel really bad about what I did at the bakery. The bakery is where this all started, and I am truly sorry for my actions. At the bakery. The Hartman case is our important active file. He just stopped talking. Said this like the thing that happened at the bakery never even happened. The Hartman case has a client who wants things done now. The Hartman case has to be finished fast, and it is really important that we get it right. I will need you to work a lot, check everything carefully, and not tell anyone about the Hartman case. Can you do all of that for the Hartman case? Emma stood up straight, said, Yes, sir, that is good. Your desk is outside my office. I need you to look over these documents by the end of the day and tell me about any liability issues with the documents. He handed her a stack of folders that was really thick. It had to be 3 inches thick. Do you have any questions about the documents? No, sir. Now it is time for us to get to work on the things that need to be done. Let's get started with the work. The work is what we need to focus on. As Emma walked with James Blackwell down the hallway to his office, she saw that he had a paper bag from Riverside Bakery. This was a surprise because James Blackwell always seemed serious and professional. The bag had something in it that looked like a croissant. The Hartman merger case took up all of Emma's time for the 3 weeks. She got to the office before the sun was up and stayed until the cleaning crew was done and gone. Emma was always thinking about the Hartman merger case. The Hartman merger case was her life during this time. Her desk outside James's office was the place she spent most of her time. It was covered in lots of things like case files and legal papers. There were also a lot of coffee cups on her desk. These cups seemed to appear out of nowhere. She could not throw them away fast enough. Her desk outside James's office really felt like her home. James was really tough, just like he said he would be. He wanted everything to be perfect. He always found the mistakes. He was harder on Emma than any of her teachers at school. Emma saw something good in James too. He never told her to do something that he was not willing to do himself. When Emma worked late until midnight, James was still working in his office. When she got to the office early at 6 in the morning, James was already there, looking over papers. The man told her that she does not have to prove anything. He said this one evening when he came to her desk around 9 o'clock. He said that he already knows the woman is capable. Emma looked up from the contract she was going over, really surprised. This was the time he had said something personal in a long time. How do you know that? She asked, looking at him curiously, wondering what made him say something about the contract and what he meant by the contract. Emma was still thinking about the contract and what it all meant. He said to her, You are still here, which is really something. Most people would have given up by now. Then he put a paper cup on her desk. I brought you some tea because you have had enough coffee for today. She looked at the cup, thought to herself, How did you know that green tea is what I drink? She was really wondering about this because green tea is her thing to drink. James turned to leave, then he stopped. I pay attention, he said. He looked back, added, and for what it's worth, you were right that morning at the bakery. My meeting was not more important than your day at the bakery. The bakery was where you had your first day, and I had a meeting but your first day. At the bakery was important. The bakery. Before Emma could say anything, the man went back into his office. He left her with a cup of tea and a weird feeling. This feeling was something Emma could not really explain. It was a feeling that she had and she did not know what to do with it. The warm tea was nice. The feeling was what really had her attention. Emma was still thinking about what the man had said before he went back. Into his office, the big discovery happened when they were together for 4 weeks. Emma was going over money reports when she saw something in the records of the smaller company. The numbers did not add up. The transactions looked like they were meant to hide things instead of making them clear. Emma was looking at the records of the subsidiary company, and she found numbers that did not make sense and transactions that seemed strange. The transactions in the subsidiary company records seemed to be making things harder to understand of easier. She went to James's door, knocked on it at 11:30 at night. The man said, "Come in." And he was still staring at his laptop. He did not even look up when he said it. Emma said that she believes there is a problem with the Hartman subsidiary disclosures. She spread the documents over his desk. "Look at these transactions with the Hartman subsidiary," she said. The Hartman subsidiary transactions are technically legal. The Hartman subsidiary transactions make it seem like the Hartman subsidiary company might be hiding debt from people. James leaned forward. He looked at the pages really closely. He wanted to see everything that they had found. "Show me everything you found," James said. The team worked through the night. They looked at a lot of documents, made a list of what happened and when. They used this information to build a case. By the time the sun came up, the team had found evidence. They thought the client should try to negotiate the deal terms. The client should renegotiate the deal terms. James sat back in his chair, ran his hand through his hair. This was the time Emma had seen James look anything other than perfectly calm and collected. James had his tie loosened, his sleeves rolled up. James had a bit of stubble on his jaw. "This could have really messed up the deal if we had missed it," he said in a voice. "You just saved our client a lot of money, millions of dollars. Our client is going to be very happy because you saved them millions of dollars." "We helped them out," Emma said. "I saw the mistake. You knew how to make the case work." James looked at her. Something changed between James and her. The office was really quiet. The only sound was the air coming from the vents. Outside, the city was starting to come alive. The early morning sun was making the sky look pretty with pink and gold colors. James told her that she should go home. His voice was really soft, softer than she had ever heard it before. He also said that she should get some sleep. "What about you?" "I have to get the presentation ready for the client meeting that is happening this afternoon." "The client meeting is really important, so I want to make sure the presentation is good." "I will make sure the presentation for the client meeting is complete and ready to go." "The presentation for the client meeting this afternoon has to be perfect." Emma stopped for a moment. "I could help with that," she said, referring to the task that needed to be done. And by help, Emma meant that she could assist with the task. "You have already done more than enough. I really want to see this thing through. I want to finish this, and I do not want to give up on it. I want to see this through to the end." A small smile came out at the corner of his mouth. He said, stubborn, "I got to learn from the people around me. The best teachers and coaches really helped me out. I feel lucky that I got to learn from the best. They got breakfast from a diner that brought food to the building." Emma and James worked on things all morning. They made charts, got their thoughts in order. They also thought about what people might ask them. Emma found out that James likes his coffee with no cream, 2 sugars. He grew up in a town in Ohio. James paid for law school by working 3 jobs at the time. I was really surprised when Emma said that she thought I came from a family. Emma admitted this. It was clear that she was surprised by what she had just found out. Emma looked at me, said, "I thought you came from money," and I could tell that this was something that really surprised her. People usually do that. I do not correct the people. James leaned back against his desk, his arms crossed. "It is easier to let the people believe what the people want to believe about the things. What is the point of you telling me this? I do not understand why you are sharing this information with me. You are telling me this? I am not sure what I am supposed to do with this information. I wish you would explain why you are telling me this. You wanted to know, so I will tell you. It is because you do not look at me the way that other people look at me. What do other people think when they look at you? Do they really see the you? When other people look at you, what is it that they see? Is it the way you dress? or the way you act that makes them think a way about you? Other people looking at you must have some kind of opinion about you. He looked at her, said, I am not someone you need to be impressed by or afraid of or try to use to get ahead. He met her gaze steadily. You look at me like I am a man who tried to take your croissant, Emma. The sound was a surprise to them both. She said, you did try to steal my croissant. In my defense, I was there first. You absolutely were not. The client meeting that afternoon was really good. The people from Hartman were not sure about changing things at first. James did a great job of explaining what Emma had found out. He was very clear and sure of himself, so the Hartman people had to agree that there were problems. The Hartman executives were very happy with Morrison and Associates by the end of the meeting. They were even thanking Morrison and Associates for being so careful and detailed. The lead partner said to James, after it was all done, you and the team did a job. The lead partner also said the team really did a job and helped out a lot. James heard this from the lead partner. The team that James was working with did work. The lead partner was very happy with the work that James and the team did. James said that his paralegal found the mistake. He pointed to Emma, said that she is the one who deserves the credit for finding it. The credit goes to Emma, James said, because she is the one who actually caught the discrepancy. Emma felt her face get really warm when the partners came over to say congratulations. To her, the thing that really got her excited was the way James looked at her. He was really proud of her. Emma could see it in James's eyes. That made her feel happy. She liked that James was proud of Emma. That evening, James showed up at her desk with his coat on. He did not have any papers or files with him. Do you want to go out for dinner? James asked her. Is this about the case? No. This is about the fact that we have both been eating food from vending machines for a month. I know a place that serves vegetables. We have been living on vending machine food for a time, and it is not good for us. This place I know has vegetables, not just the usual vending machine stuff. The restaurant was an Italian place on a side street. This Italian place was the kind of place that people who live in the neighborhood love. Tourists never find. They sat down at a corner table. For the time since they met, they had a conversation about things that had nothing to do with their jobs. They talked about the restaurant and the food. At this Italian place, Emma told him about what it was like for her growing up in Texas. She talked about her mother who had to clean houses so that Emma could go to college. Emma's mother did this so Emma could have a life. Emma wanted to open her practice, a practice that would help people who did not have a lot of money to pay for expensive lawyers. People who really needed help from lawyers like Emma. James talked about his father who worked in a factory for 40 years. His father worked at the factory for a long time. The scholarship that James got changed his life. It was a deal for James because he was the first person in his family to do well like this. James felt a lot of pressure because of this. The scholarship was very important for James and his family. James was talking about his life and the things that happened to him, like the scholarship and his father who worked in a factory for 40 years. He said that sometimes he feels like he is not really the person people think he is. He was playing with the wine in his glass. It seems like he is worried that someone will find out that he does not actually belong in the offices. And wearing those really expensive suits, he feels like an imposter, like someone is going to discover that the expensive suits and the corner offices are not really for him. Emma said, you did all of this by yourself. That is not just feeling like you do not belong. That is what happens when the truth does not match what people think. Emma said, you built everything yourself. That is what it means when reality and what people think are different. When did you become so wise? You seem to know a lot of things. I'm wondering when you got so wise. You are really smart. I want to know when you got that way. I have always been a person. You were just too busy being full of yourself to notice that I am a person. James laughed, a laugh that changed his whole face. He said, I was not arrogant, I was stressed. James felt the need to explain that the way he acted was because of the stress. He was under, not because he was being arrogant like people might have thought. James wanted to make it clear that stress was the reason for his behavior, not arrogance. You said you would pay me double the money for a pastry? I am talking about the pastry. You were going to give me double the amount of money for the pastry? That was problem solving? That was a case of privilege showing. It is very obvious that privilege was showing in that situation. The fact that privilege was showing is really something to think about. That is a point. He leaned over the table. His fingers touched hers. I am glad you spoke up to me that morning when I was being difficult. Emma's breath caught. She said, why? Because she really wanted to know the reason. Emma was waiting to hear the answer to her question about why this was happening to her. People do not usually do this. I need the people around me who will do this. I want the people around me to be like that. The people around me should be willing to do things. The walk back to her apartment was really slow. Neither of them wanted the evening to be over. They talked about books and movies. The old jazz music was something they both loved. They also liked watching terrible reality TV shows. They found a lot of things that they had in common with each other. The walk back to her apartment was nice because they got to talk about these things. They both loved jazz, and that was pretty cool. Emma was at the entrance of her building. She turned around to say goodnight. She saw James standing close to her, which was a surprise. The light from the street made shadows on James' face, which made his features look softer than they usually did. Emma had seen James a lot at night, so she knew what he looked like, but the shadows made him look a little different. Emma, he said. Her name was a whisper. He had something to tell Emma. It was important that Emma heard this from him. Okay, that morning I went to the bakery where we were earlier. After you left the bakery, I decided to go to some bakeries to look for croissants. I really wanted to find some croissants. So I went to 3 bakeries. At these bakeries, I bought a dozen croissants. Then I left the croissants outside your building. I also left a note with the croissants. In the note I said, sorry for being difficult with the croissants. Emma looked at him. That was really you who sent them? I thought it was some kind of mistake. I figured they were meant for someone, and they got delivered to the wrong house by accident. I mean, the packages were definitely sent to my address, but I did not order anything, so I thought that was what happened. That was you who sent the packages to my address? That was the address. You never got the note. The doorman probably forgot to give it to you. James ran his hand through his hair. He looked really nervous, which is not like him. I wanted to say sorry. Then you came to the firm and I thought it was better to just be professional with you. James wanted to apologize to you. He did not know how, so he just acted like everything was fine at the firm. And now I really cannot keep acting like you're just my paralegal. He took a step closer to me. You are brilliant and very stubborn. You always tell me when I am being completely impossible. The thing is, you make me want to be a person that I actually am. Emma's heart was beating fast. She said to James, James, we are coworkers. There are rules about this kind of thing, James. I know this. If you want me to stay away from you, I will do that. I had to tell you how I feel about you. I had to let you know that you are not an employee of mine. You are someone I have a lot of respect for, someone I really admire, someone who's always on my mind. I think about you all the time. You are important to me. The confession just stayed there between them. It was really honest. It made them feel vulnerable. This was a terrifying thing for them to deal with. The confession was one of those things that you cannot take back once it is out. The confession made everything feel really scary. Emma thought about this and she did not like it one bit. The way the people in charge treated others was a problem. The way the office worked was also a problem. If things did not go well, Emma's job could be in trouble. Then Emma thought about him. She thought about how he stood up for her when the people in charge were being mean. She thought about how he brought her tea when she was feeling tired. She thought about how he looked at her. He made her feel like she could do anything. He made her feel like the person in the whole world. Emma thought about all of these things. She thought about him. She said to him, I think about you too. She said this softly. I think about you more than I should, she said. James let out a breath, feeling really relieved. So what do we do now with the situation of James and his friends? We are honest with each other and with the company. The company needs us to be honest. We do not keep secrets from each other or from the company. We do not give treatment to some people. Everything is out in the open with the company. The company is transparent. So are we. We are honest with the company at all times. I am able to do that. If this thing does not work out, if it gets really complicated, we will handle the situation like adults. We will deal with the problem in a way like adults should. Agreed, Emma. She said, okay then. James cupped her face gently, his thumb tracing the shape of her cheekbone. He said okay, back to her, his voice soft. James was looking at her, and he could see the emotions in her eyes, and James wanted to comfort the woman, so James said it again. Okay then, to reassure her that everything was going to be all right. When he kissed her, it felt like she was falling and also flying at the time. The kiss was soft, and it was certain it was tentative. It was sure, like the croissant argument they had was always going to lead to this kiss. The kiss felt like something that had to happen from the moment they argued over that croissant. They slowly pulled apart their foreheads, still resting together. They were breathing the air. The air that the people around them were breathing was the air that they were breathing. They were so close that they could feel each other's breath, the same air moving in and out of their bodies. The people who were with them, they were also breathing. But these two people, they were the ones who were sharing the air. Emma said this in a soft voice for the record. I would have given you some of the croissant if you had asked me in a nice way. James laughed against her lips. For the record, I went back to that bakery every day because I was really hoping to run into her again at that bakery. Really? The staff knows my order by heart now. They are really familiar with what I'd like to get. The staff has gotten to know my order well, which is, I'm going to have 2 croissants. One of these croissants is for me, and the other croissants is for the woman who changed my life. The stubborn woman who changed my life is really something. I am still thinking about the woman who changed my life when I look at the 2 croissants. Emma kissed him again. This time it was longer. She put all the feelings she had been holding back for weeks into this kiss. When it was time to say goodnight, Emma went up to her apartment. She felt happy and excited. Her heart was full of hope for what might happen with him. Emma thought about him and the kiss they shared. She could not help but feel that something special might be starting with him, Emma and him together. The morning James was sitting at her desk. He had 2 good croissants from Riverside Bakery. He also had 2 cups of coffee that matched. James got the croissants from Riverside Bakery because they are the best. He wanted everything to be just right for her, so he got the coffee to match the croissants from Riverside Bakery, the man said. Morning, and you could see a little smile trying to come out on his mouth. Morning, Emma said when she took the breakfast that was given to her. Emma and James had a conversation ahead of them with the Human Resources Department. They needed to be careful about what they said and did, and their colleagues would definitely have things to say about it. When Emma took a bite of the really good flaky pastry and saw James looking at her with a lot of love in his eyes, she thought that it would all be worth it. For Emma and James, life is full of surprises. The best things in life can start with an argument. You have to be strong and stubborn. It is also important to say sorry when you are wrong. For some people, it is about finding a ground. They are both a bit right and a little bit ridiculous at the same time. Life is funny like that. The best things in life can start with people being a bit right and a little bit ridiculous, like these 2 people. And somewhere in downtown, at a small bakery on Riverside Avenue, the staff smiled when they saw the couple who'd once fought over a croissant, now sharing them every morning. Hands intertwined, building something beautiful out of what had started as collision.
Hello guys, thank you so much for watching the whole story. We are very pleased that you people are coming to our channel and watching all of our stories. Please subscribe our channel if you like this story. Click the thumbs up button if you want us to upload more videos like this. Thank you so much for coming to our channel.